Happy morning. Today's topic is about legal duties of an RMP in a case of a suspected poisoning. And this video lecture we will be discussing regarding the objectives, the other legal formalities that an RMP should carry out in a case of a suspected poisoning. And the situation arises wherein a suicidal case, a doctor working in a government setup, a doctor working in a private institution, what are other legally bounded, and if he has been failed to do so, what are the IPCs that governs it, and have been discussed. And if a death occurs inevitably, what are the proceedings need to be carried have been discussed in detail. And first and foremost, during his professional career, a general medical practitioner may come across many cases of poisoning. In our country, a majority of cases of poisoning are suicidal or accidental in nature. Thirdly, very rarely we do come across cases of homicidal poisoning. The legal duty versus the medical duty, and here whenever a victim of poisoning has been brought for a treatment, even though it is a case of a medical legal, a medical practitioner need to assume the medical responsibility of him, that is saving the life of the patient is far more important than the legal duties. And the legal duties like informing the legal authorities and other related proceedings always takes a back seat in such incidents. The legal duties, information, and here we need to assist the police to determine the manner of poisoning, and by collecting samples, bodily fluids like blood, urine, feces from the patient, and to process for further examination towards toxicological analysis, wherein we need to collect samples and by which we can able to assist the police officer in finding out the exact poison, and by the other trace evidences or by other physical evidences on the patient, we need to document those, and by which again we are helping the police officer to assist or to determine to complete his investigation. At hospital, wherein the legal formalities, other legal formalities, and secondly, arrangement for dying declaration in case of inevitable deaths, and maintaining the confidentiality and when to breach the confidentiality, and those is been discussed in upcoming slides. A government hospital versus a private hospital, where a doctor working in a government setup can't refuse a patient or he can't deny a treatment to a case of a poisoning, but on the other hand, a private practitioner has a right to choose his patient, hence he can refuse to treat a case of poisoning. However, it will be unethical to refuse a patient in a circumstances wherein the emergency sets in, and example like poisoning. He can the summary: the private practitioner has a right to choose a patient, even though if he refuses, it will be unethical. Section 92 IPC, where a medical practitioner must remember that he is being protected against any harm done in good faith to a patient in an emergency situation, ethically as well as legally. Consult a senior colleague in order to avoid any legal or medical complications arising out of during the course of treatment. It is always advisable to consult a senior colleague in cases of doubt or otherwise. And remember the confidentiality, the identity of the patient and other particulars need to be in confidential. Signs and symptoms. What shall I do? and when there been absence of the telltale signs and symptoms of poisoning, it is always better in a good practice to admit or to observe the patient for at least 24 hours, and by practicing this we are avoiding the lot of suits of negligence that have been filed against the RMP. The confidentiality, wherein many patients may state that he has consumed poison in a suicidal attempt and request the RMP not to disclose to the legal authorities, and almost all patients may attempt suicide due to a sudden impulse or maybe some reasons for trivial reasons, and they may even regret the act, and in some situations wherein the patient may be suffering from organic psychiatric disturbances, and we need to prevent further attempts, and the objective is to prevent further attempts where two such terminologies comes in play. One is of professional secrecy versus privileged communication, and as ethical duty we need to maintain professional secrecy, but to prevent the relapses or to prevent further attempts, we need to practice privileged communication. And here, if a doctor practice privileged communication, or otherwise in simpler terms, if he disclose the information to the relatives or to the legal authorities in concern to the state or concern to the individual, where he is not liable for his damages. Point number 6, inform all cases at government institution. And if a RMP working in a government hospital, a doctor is bounded to inform the legal authorities of all cases regardless of their manner of occurrence. Medical practitioner, he is not been legally bound to inform all cases of poisoning to the legal authorities. He has only a legal obligation to inform the cases of homicidal poisoning alone, and this grant has been provided under 39 CRPC. And to be on safer side, it is always better to inform all cases of poisoning to the legal authorities irrespective of their manner, and failure to inform the police in case of homicidal poisoning, it attracts a liable for prosecution under section 176 IPC. And remember whatever the history that has been narrated by the patient, and we are not the investigating authority, we are just a medical personnel, and we may not know the background story. In sometimes where a patient may disclose or he only disclose a partial information, so by which we can't make out the manner regarding the poison or the intention behind. So it is always to be safer side to inform the legal authorities irrespective of the manner of poisoning. In cases of inevitable death, wherein in spite of the treatment provided, the patient is being dead. In those circumstances, the RMP should not issue a death certificate. Instead, he should hand over the deceased to the legal authorities for a medico-legal post-mortem examination. Section 193 and 202 IPC, wherein if an investigating officer inquires about a case of an poisoning, regardless of its nature, the medical practitioner is expected to report all the details to him, and there is no professional secrecy. He is bounded to do so. If he fails to do so, he is being penalized under section 193 IPC and 202 IPC. Section 201 IPC, wherein it is a duty of a medical practitioner to collect and preserve any evidences that are suggestive or confirmatory towards poisoning, and a failure to do so, it attracts a penalization under section 201 IPC. And what are the things to preserve or the evidence to preserve, like vomitus during the course of treatment, the vomitus or the first returning fluid of a stomach wash or on a gastric lavage need to be preserved, feces, blood and urine by which a toxicological analysis can be carried out. So it is a duty wherein he need to preserve these bodily fluids for further examination. The situation arises where in cases of imminent death, a doctor should arrange for recording of dying declaration, the proceedings and the etc. details you may be knowing regarding dying declaration and need not repeat. Toilet is a suspected food poisoning, and in mass the people have been poisoned, and as a result of public eating place, or there have been the further exposure among the community is being anticipated. It is a duty of an RMP need to transfer this information or need to inform towards the state or the legal or the concerned authorities for further action. And again, the word privileged communication comes in. Thank you so much for your patient listening. If there have been any doubts, queries relating to the content of the video, kindly address those issues in comment section below, or otherwise text to any of the social media links. Thank you.